Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Today Journey. Thank you for being here with me today. I am really happy that you decided to spend a little time with me. Before we start, let's slow down for a moment. Wherever you are right now, take a deep breath. Maybe you are walking outside and listening with your earphones. Maybe you are sitting at home, drinking tea or coffee. Maybe you are resting after a long day. This moment is just for you. It is a small pause in your busy life, a chance to listen, learn, and think calmly. Today, we're going to talk about something very important. It is something powerful, but very quiet. It works inside your mind all the time, even when you are not aware of it. This thing can shape your thoughts, your actions, and even your future. Today's topic is the subconscious mind. You may have heard this word before. People talk about it in psychology books, self-help videos, and daily conversations. But many people do not fully understand what it really means. They hear the word, but they do not think deeply about it. So, let's make it simple. Your subconscious mind is the part of your mind that works silently in the background. It never sleeps. It never takes a break. Even when you are busy, tired, or not thinking about anything important, it is still working. Think of it as a quiet helper that controls many parts of your life without asking you first. To understand it better, imagine an iceberg floating in the ocean. You can see only a small part of it above the water. That visible part is your conscious mind. This is the part you use when you think clearly and on purpose. For example, when you say, "I need to finish my homework," or "What should I eat today?" or "I should call my friend later." These are clear, active thoughts. But now think about the huge part of the iceberg that is under the water. You cannot see it, but it is much bigger and stronger than the part above the water. This hidden part is your subconscious mind. It controls your habits, your fears, your confidence, and many of your reactions. It decides how you feel in many situations without you realizing it. It remembers past experiences and uses them to guide your behavior. For example, if you feel nervous when speaking English, your subconscious mind may be reminding you of a past mistake or an embarrassing moment. You may not think about it clearly, but the feeling is there. Or, if you believe something is too hard, your subconscious mind may stop you from even trying. You might say, "I can't do this," without knowing why you feel that way. This is why the subconscious mind is so important. It quietly shapes your life every day. The thoughts you repeat, even the quiet ones, slowly become beliefs. Those beliefs then affect your choices, your actions, and your results. When you understand this, you can begin to change the way you think and the way you live. So today, as we continue this journey together, remember this: your mind is powerful, and learning how it works can help you grow, not only in English, but also as a person. Sometimes, in a difficult moment, you may have told yourself, "I can handle this." When you said those words, something changed inside you. You felt a little stronger. You felt more confident. You felt more able to move forward. This was not just luck or a coincidence. This was your subconscious mind responding to the message you gave it. Now think about the opposite situation. Every time you quietly say to yourself, "I'm not good at this," or "I always fail," your subconscious mind listens very carefully. It does not argue with you. It does not stop to ask if this is really true. It does not say, "Wait, that might not be correct." Instead, it accepts these words as facts. Once it accepts them, it starts working in a way that matches those beliefs. It may lower your confidence. It may make you avoid challenges. It may push you to give up more easily. But when you say something different, something supportive, the result also changes. When you tell yourself, "I can learn," "I will improve," or "I will find a way," your subconscious mind reacts in a positive way. It begins to help you instead of holding you back. It helps you notice chances and opportunities that you might have ignored before. It gives you more energy to keep going, even when things feel hard. Slowly, it builds belief inside you. That belief becomes confidence, and confidence becomes action. This is why understanding your subconscious mind is so important. It is not just about thinking happy thoughts or pretending everything is perfect. It is about realizing that the thoughts you repeat every day, even quiet ones you don't say out loud, are shaping your habits and your behavior. Over time, these thoughts shape the direction of your life. They influence what you try, what you avoid, and what you believe is possible for you. As you listen and learn today, I want you to stay curious about yourself. Ask yourself some honest questions. What beliefs are quietly guiding my life right now? Are these beliefs helping me move forward, or are they holding me back? Are they supporting my growth, or are they keeping me stuck? Now, let's slow down and clearly explain what the subconscious mind really is. Your mind has two main parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is the part you are aware of right now. It is the voice in your head that says, I am listening to this right now, or I need to finish my work later. This part of the mind is logical. It thinks, analyzes, plans, and makes decisions in the present moment. The subconscious mind is different. It works quietly in the background. You do not usually notice it, but it is always active. Think of it like the software inside your phone or computer. You don't see it while using the screen, but it controls how everything works. Without that software, nothing would function properly. Your subconscious mind stores your habits, your memories, your emotional reactions, and your long-term beliefs. It remembers past experiences and uses them to guide your actions today. It helps you do things automatically, like brushing your teeth, reacting to stress, or feeling confident or nervous in certain situations. Because it works silently, many people forget how powerful it really is. But once you understand it, you can begin to guide it in a better direction and slowly change your life from the inside out. Your subconscious mind is the place where many important things are stored. It keeps your memories. It controls your automatic reactions, such as fear, excitement, calmness, or confidence. Because it is always listening to your thoughts and feelings, it often decides how you feel and what you do before you're even aware of it. Many of your actions happen automatically, guided by this quiet part of your mind. This is why learning how to guide your subconscious mind can truly change your life. If you constantly feed it negative messages like doubt, fear, or self-criticism, it will accept those messages and act on them. It may make you feel weak, afraid, or unsure. But if you feed it positive messages like hope, courage, patience, and belief in yourself, it will work in your favor. It will support you, help you grow, and push you toward learning and success. A simple way to understand the subconscious mind is to think of it as the software inside a phone or a computer. The screen may look bright and perfect, but without the software, nothing will work. Apps will not open, and the device will be useless. In the same way, your subconscious mind manages almost everything in the background so that your life can run smoothly without you thinking about every small detail. One of the most powerful things your subconscious mind does is take care of your body automatically. It keeps your heart beating. It controls your breathing. It helps your muscles move. You do not wake up every morning and tell your heart how many times to beat. You do not remind yourself to breathe every few seconds. These actions happen naturally and automatically. This is the silent strength of your subconscious mind working for you all the time. But the subconscious mind is not only responsible for physical functions. It also stores your habits, emotions, memories, and automatic reactions. Think about when you first learned how to ride a bike or drive a car. In the beginning, everything felt difficult. You had to focus on every small action. You had to think about balancing, turning, braking, checking mirrors, and watching the road. It felt tiring and stressful. But after practicing again and again, something changed. Those actions became natural. You no longer had to think about every step. Your body just knew what to do. At that point, your subconscious mind took control. It remembered the movements and allowed you to ride or drive easily. This is how habits are formed. What once felt hard becomes easy because your subconscious learns it. Here is another simple example. Imagine you hear a song that you loved many years ago. The moment the music starts, strong emotions suddenly appear. You may remember a place, a person, or a time in your life. You might feel happy, emotional, or nostalgic without trying to feel that way. This reaction comes from your subconscious mind. It stored the memory and the emotions connected to that song, and it brings them back instantly. All of this shows how powerful the subconscious mind really is. It remembers, reacts, and guides you quietly every day. When you understand this power, you can begin to use it in a positive way. By choosing better thoughts, kinder words toward yourself, and healthier beliefs, you slowly train your subconscious to support you. Over time, this can change how you feel, how you act, and how you live your life. Maybe you suddenly remember a special moment from the past. It could be a place you once visited, a person you cared about, or a time when you felt happy or safe. You did not decide to remember it on purpose. You did not tell yourself, "Now I will feel emotional." Your subconscious mind made that connection by itself and sent the memory and feeling straight to your conscious mind. This happens very fast and very naturally. This helps us understand something very important about the subconscious mind. It does not stop to question the messages it receives. It does not ask, "Is this thought true?" or "Is this belief good for me?" It does not judge or analyze. It simply listens and accepts. Whatever you repeat again and again, especially with emotion, goes directly into your subconscious and becomes part of you. For example, if you often tell yourself, "I'm terrible at learning languages," your subconscious mind will accept this as a fact. Once it believes this, it starts to act in a way that matches that belief. It may create feelings of fear or nervousness when you try to speak. It may make learning feel stressful or uncomfortable. It may even push you to avoid practicing because it wants to protect you from failure or embarrassment. But now, imagine you give it a different message. Imagine you tell yourself, "I can improve if I keep trying," or "I am learning step by step." Your subconscious mind will also accept this message. Then it will begin to support you instead of blocking you. It can make you feel calmer. It can give you more energy. It can slowly build confidence and encourage you to take action, even when things feel difficult. Many psychologists and thinkers have explained this idea in simple ways. One well-known example comes from Dr. Joseph Murphy, who described the subconscious mind as a fertile garden. In a garden, whatever you plant will grow. If you plant seeds of fear, doubt, and limitation, those are the plants that will appear. If you plant seeds of confidence, hope, patience, and belief, those will grow instead. The garden does not choose. It does not judge. It simply responds to what you put into it. The difficult part is this. Most of the time, we do not even realize what we are planting. Many of the beliefs inside us were not chosen by us. They became habits over time. They may come from childhood, from family members, from teachers, from culture, or from past experiences. Someone may have said something to you many years ago, and even if they forgot it, your subconscious did not. For example, maybe when you were young, someone told you, "You're not good at speaking," or "You're shy," or "You make too many mistakes." At that time, you may not have argued with those words. They may have gone straight into your subconscious mind. They stayed there quietly. Years later, when you try to speak English, speak in public, or express your ideas, that old belief can suddenly appear. You may feel nervous, insecure, or afraid without knowing exactly why. This shows us something very important. The subconscious mind is not magical or mysterious in a strange way. It is powerful, but it works based on what it has learned. It reacts to repetition, emotion, and belief. The good news is that just as old beliefs were learned, new and better beliefs can also be learned. With awareness, patience, and practice, you can slowly change the messages you send to your subconscious. When you do that, you begin to change how you feel, how you act, and how you see yourself and your future. The subconscious mind is not something strange or mysterious. It is not a hidden force outside of you. It is simply a natural part of how your mind works every day. You can think of it as a powerful assistant that works for you all the time, day and night, without stopping. It is active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But here's the most important point to understand. If you do not give this assistant clear, positive instructions, it will continue to follow old instructions. Some of those old programs may no longer help you, but the subconscious will still run them automatically. Now think about your normal daily life. How many things do you do without thinking? The way you brush your teeth in the morning, the path you take to school or work, the way you react when someone says something annoying. In most cases, you do not stop and carefully decide what to do. You simply act. These actions are guided by your subconscious mind. It uses habits and past experiences to decide for you. That is why learning how to communicate with your subconscious mind and how to guide it in a better direction can truly change your life. When you understand this, you realize that change does not start outside. It starts inside. When you give your subconscious better instructions, it slowly changes your habits, reactions, and beliefs. Over time, this changes how you live, how you learn, and how you feel about yourself. One of the most famous books about this idea is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Dr. Joseph Murphy. This book was first published in 1963. Even though many years have passed, its message is still very powerful and relevant today. The reason is simple. It talks about something timeless, the connection between your inner world and your outer world. The main message of the book is simple but very deep. The thoughts and beliefs you repeat inside your mind, especially the ones you repeat often, slowly create the reality you live in. Your life on the outside is strongly connected to what is happening on the inside. Dr. Joseph Murphy often explains this idea by using a very clear image. He says your mind is like a garden. Your conscious mind is the gardener. Your subconscious mind is the soil. The gardener chooses which seeds to plant, but the soil does the work of growing them. The soil does not decide which seeds are good or bad. It does not refuse any seed. It simply accepts whatever is planted and helps it grow. If you plant seeds of fear, worry, anger, or self-doubt, those seeds will grow into negative habits and emotions. They may show up as stress, low confidence, or fear of trying new things. But if you plant seeds of confidence, hope, patience, and gratitude, those seeds will also grow. Over time, they can become positive habits, strong self-belief, and calm reactions. Your subconscious mind is neutral. It does not argue with you. It does not question your thoughts. It does not stop to ask if something is helpful or harmful. It simply listens and responds. This is why being careful with your thoughts and inner words is so important. Every thought you repeat is like a seed. With time, it will grow into something real in your life. When you understand this, you gain power. You begin to realize that you are not helpless. You may not control every situation around you, but you can slowly learn to control the messages you send to your mind. And when those messages change, your habits, your confidence, and your future can change too. Just like soil accepts any seed, your subconscious mind accepts any thought you give it. It does not choose. It does not judge. It simply receives and grows whatever you plant. This is why your beliefs have such a strong effect on your life. For example, if you keep telling yourself, "I can never do this," your subconscious mind accepts this idea as the truth. Once it accepts it, it begins to shape how you feel and how you act. You may start to feel anxious when facing challenges. You may notice more problems than solutions. You may stop trying new things because deep inside, you already believe you will fail. This belief slowly controls your behavior, even if you are not aware of it. But now, imagine you change the message. Imagine you tell yourself, "I can learn this step by step," or "I may not be perfect, but I am improving." Your subconscious mind will also accept these thoughts. Once it does, it begins to work with you instead of against you. It helps you notice solutions. It builds confidence inside you. It gently guides your actions toward progress and success. This is why Dr. Joseph Murphy explains that changing your inner beliefs can completely change the direction of your life. In his work, Murphy talks about two very powerful tools that can help guide the subconscious mind. These tools are visualization and affirmations. When used regularly, they can slowly change how you think, feel, and act. Visualization means creating a clear and detailed picture in your mind of what you want to achieve. For example, if you want to feel confident speaking English, imagine yourself in a real conversation. See yourself speaking clearly and calmly. Hear your own voice sounding steady. Imagine the other person listening and smiling. Feel the relief, happiness, and pride after the conversation ends. Your subconscious mind reacts strongly to these mental pictures. In many ways, it treats them like real experiences. When you practice visualization often, you train your mind and body to behave with more confidence in real situations. Affirmations are another powerful tool. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself again and again. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at speaking English," you say, "I am improving every day," or "My English gets better with every conversation." At first, these words may feel strange or even fake. You may not fully believe them, but Murphy explains that repetition is the key. Think about how a song gets stuck in your head. You hear it many times, and suddenly you remember the words without trying. The same thing happens with affirmations. When you repeat positive statements often, they slowly sink into your subconscious mind. Over time, they begin to feel natural. Eventually, they turn into new beliefs. These new beliefs then influence your confidence, your habits, and your actions. Dr. Joseph Murphy shares many stories to explain this idea. One powerful story is about a man who had been unemployed for many months. He felt hopeless and discouraged. Instead of continuing to repeat thoughts of failure, he began using affirmations and visualization every day. He imagined himself working again, feeling useful and confident. He repeated positive statements about success and opportunity. Slowly, his attitude changed. His confidence returned. Soon after, new opportunities appeared, and his situation improved. The lesson is simple, but very powerful. Your subconscious mind is always listening. The thoughts you repeat become beliefs. The beliefs you hold shape your actions, and your actions shape your life. When you learn to guide your subconscious with patience, kindness, and positive direction, you begin to create real change from the inside out. Instead of staying focused on fear, stress, and frustration, the man decided to change what was happening inside his mind. Every day, he practiced visualization and affirmations. He did not imagine failure anymore. Instead, he imagined success. He clearly pictured himself working at a job he enjoyed. In his mind, he saw himself smiling, shaking hands with his new boss, and feeling proud of himself. He even imagined receiving his first paycheck and feeling relieved and happy. After only a few weeks, something surprising happened. A real opportunity appeared in his life. He was invited for a job that was very similar to what he had been imagining every day. Soon after, he was hired for that position. The job matched his mental picture almost exactly. Some people may call this a coincidence. Others may believe it is something deeper. But Dr. Joseph Murphy's message is very clear. What you truly believe inside, you slowly begin to create in your life. Another very important lesson from the power of your subconscious mind is the lesson of faith and belief. When Murphy talks about faith, he is not talking about religion. He is talking about a deep inner belief. A belief that change is possible. A belief that growth is possible for you, even if it feels difficult right now. Murphy explains that the subconscious mind does not argue with you. It does not analyze your thoughts. It does not judge them. It simply follows your strongest beliefs. If you believe that success is possible for other people but not for you, your subconscious mind will accept that idea. Then it will quietly work to prove that belief true. You may start noticing only problems. You may find reasons why things will not work. You may miss opportunities that could have helped you simply because you do not believe they are meant for you. But if you truly believe that you can grow, improve, and succeed, even in small steps, your subconscious mind will support that belief too. It will help you notice chances you ignored before. It will push you to take small actions. It will give you the courage to try again after failure. Slowly, new doors begin to open, sometimes in ways you did not expect. Murphy often returns to the same simple image. Your subconscious mind is like soil. It accepts any seed you plant. It does not care if the seed is good or bad. Fear, confidence, doubt, hope, anger, patience. All of them are seeds. Whatever you plant again and again will grow. This means the responsibility is yours. Your job is to choose which seeds you plant in your mind every day. This is where affirmations become very important. Murphy suggests repeating positive statements daily, especially in a calm and relaxed state. These statements do not need to be long or complicated. Simple sentences are enough. For example, I am calm, confident, and focused. I am learning and improving every day. Success comes to me naturally and steadily. The key point is feeling. When you repeat affirmations with feeling, your subconscious listens more deeply. Even if you do not fully believe the words at first, repetition combined with emotion slowly changes your inner beliefs. Over time, these new beliefs begin to feel natural and real. One of the most famous and often repeated lines from the book is, "Change your thoughts, and you change your destiny." This is not just a beautiful sentence. It is a practical lesson. Your thoughts shape your beliefs. Your beliefs shape your actions. Your actions shape your life. When you change what you repeatedly tell yourself, you begin to change the direction of your future. The message is simple but powerful. You are not controlled only by the outside world. You are deeply influenced by what is happening inside your mind. When you learn to guide your subconscious with patience, faith, and positive belief, you give yourself a chance to grow, to learn, and to build a better life, step by step, from the inside out. This idea is not just theory or imagination. It is a very practical truth that affects everyday life. If you spend most of your time focusing on problems, your mind slowly becomes tired and heavy. You begin to feel stuck, powerless, and stressed. Even small difficulties can start to feel big and overwhelming. When your attention stays on what is wrong, your energy goes down, and it becomes harder to move forward. But when you train yourself to focus on solutions, even very small ones, something begins to change. You start to notice chances and possibilities that you could not see before. It is like changing the lens on a camera. When the lens is dirty or dark, everything looks unclear. But when you change it, the picture becomes brighter and sharper. In the same way, when your inner focus changes, the world around you begins to look more open and full of possibilities. The main lesson of the power of your subconscious mind is that your daily thoughts become the seeds of your future. The ideas you repeat again and again quietly sink into your subconscious mind. Over time, these ideas grow into habits, beliefs, and patterns in your life. When you plant better seeds using visualization, affirmations, and self-belief, you do not just change how you think. You slowly change how you live. Dr. Joseph Murphy reminds us that the outside world does not magically change on its own. The people, situations, and challenges around us may stay the same. What truly changes is how we see those situations and how we react to them. When your inner perspective changes, your experience of life changes with it. The same situation can feel stressful or manageable depending on what is happening inside your mind. However, Murphy also gives an important warning. He talks about negative autosuggestions. These are the quiet, automatic thoughts you repeat to yourself without even noticing. Thoughts like, "I'm unlucky," "This always happens to me," or "I'll never get better." These thoughts are dangerous because they feel normal and familiar, but they slowly damage your confidence. Murphy compares these negative thoughts to weeds in a garden. Weeds grow fast, and if you ignore them, they can take over the whole space. They steal energy and block healthy plants from growing. In the same way, negative thoughts can block positive beliefs if you do not stop them early. That is why one of Murphy's most important techniques is awareness. You must learn to catch negative thoughts as soon as they appear. The moment you notice one, you replace it with something better and kinder. For example, if you hear yourself thinking, "I always fail at this," you do not let that thought stay. You gently replace it with, "I am learning," or "Every attempt makes me stronger." This simple action may feel small, but repeated over time, it creates powerful change. The core idea, the heart of Murphy's message, is very clear. Your thoughts shape your reality. Not the small, passing thoughts like, "I feel tired today," or "I forgot my keys." Those thoughts come and go. The thoughts that truly matter are the deep ones you repeat every single day. The beliefs about who you are, what you can do, and what you deserve in life. These beliefs slowly sink into your subconscious mind. Once they're there, they begin to guide your actions quietly. They influence how you speak, how you react, and what choices you make. You may not notice this happening, but it happens every day. This is why learning to guide your thoughts is so important. When you understand this, you realize that you have more control than you thought. You may not be able to control everything in your life, but you can control the messages you repeat inside your mind. By choosing better thoughts, kinder words, and more hopeful beliefs, you begin to guide your subconscious in a positive direction. And when your inner world changes, your outer life slowly begins to change too. Your thoughts have a direct effect on your emotions, your actions, and the results you get in life. Dr. Joseph Murphy often uses a very simple but powerful image to explain this. Your mind is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. If you keep planting fear, doubt, and negativity, you will grow more fear, more doubt, and more negative experiences in your life. On the other hand, if you plant seeds of confidence, hope, and gratitude over time, your life will begin to reflect those positive qualities. It sounds simple, but Murphy emphasizes that this is deeply powerful. Change your thoughts, and you change your destiny. One of the most important ideas in the book is that the subconscious mind responds most strongly to mental images and emotions, not just words. This means that if you want to change your life in any area, health, relationships, finances, or personal growth, you must begin by visualizing your goals. Visualization is the practice of clearly seeing in your mind the outcome you want, imagining it as if it is already happening. You should not just picture it quietly. Add feelings to it. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement, or the confidence as if it is real. Repeat this every day. The more real and emotional it feels, the more your subconscious mind accepts it as true, and the more it begins to guide your actions to make it happen in real life. Murphy fills his book with many real-life stories and examples that show how visualization and belief work. He writes about people who imagined themselves healing from serious illnesses and then saw real improvements in their health. Others pictured meeting the right life partner and later found that person. Some people imagined running successful businesses, planning and working in their minds first, and eventually built those businesses in reality. This is not about simple wishing or hoping. It is about creating a deep belief inside yourself and aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with that belief. When your inner world matches your goals, your outer world begins to follow. There is an important secret Murphy teaches about affirmations. Affirmations are not just about repeating words. If you say them mechanically or without feeling, they are empty sounds. To reach the subconscious, you must say them with emotion, with imagination, and with true belief that they are possible. For example, saying, "I am confident," while truly feeling confidence inside makes a difference. If you imagine yourself already confident, happy, or successful while repeating your affirmations, your subconscious starts to accept them as reality. That is when real change begins. Visualization and affirmations work together. One gives your subconscious mind a clear image, and the other reinforces it with positive words and feelings. By combining both daily, you train your subconscious to believe in your goals and guide your actions automatically toward achieving them. Over time, this creates a powerful shift. Your thoughts no longer stay as invisible ideas. They become the foundation for your emotions, your decisions, and the results you see in your life. In other words, your mind begins to work for you instead of against you, quietly shaping your destiny according to the seeds you choose to plant. This principle is simple but revolutionary. The clearer your mental images, the stronger your emotions, and the more positive your repeated affirmations, the more your subconscious supports your growth. Over weeks, months, or years, your life begins to reflect the inner world you have created. The more care you take with your thoughts, the more you notice opportunities, solve problems creatively, and respond to challenges with calm confidence. By planting seeds of hope, gratitude, and success every day, you are literally designing the future you want to live. Change does not happen instantly. One of the most valuable things about the power of your subconscious mind is that it does not promise quick fixes or miracles. Dr. Joseph Murphy is very clear that real change takes time, patience, and repetition. Think about learning English as an example. You do not become fluent overnight. You practice, make mistakes, try again, and slowly your brain learns. Day by day, your skills grow, even if you do not notice it immediately. Murphy says the same is true for your beliefs and for your life. Transformation is not forced. It happens gently, step by step, thought by thought, habit by habit. It is important to take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, what thoughts are you planting every day when you talk to yourself, either out loud or silently? Are your thoughts lifting you up or holding you back? Are your mental images focused on failure and difficulty, or are they focused on growth and possibility? You do not need to answer all of these questions perfectly right now. Just becoming aware of your inner conversation is already a powerful first step. Awareness gives you the power to choose differently and start planting better seeds in your subconscious mind. Murphy's book is not the type you read once and forget. It is like a wise, quiet friend. You return to it when you need guidance or a reminder of what you are capable of. Even applying just one small idea from it, such as realizing that your thoughts can shape your reality, can create meaningful shifts in your life. When these small shifts happen regularly, over time they build into bigger changes that affect your emotions, actions, and overall life experience. The subconscious mind is always listening. Every thought you repeat, every mental image you focus on, gradually influences your behavior and your life. Murphy shares many real-life stories to show this power in action. He writes about people who overcame serious health problems, financial difficulties, and deep fears not by chance or luck, but by changing the way they thought and trained their subconscious mind. They focused on healing, on success, and on possibilities rather than on problems or limitations. By doing this consistently, their inner world changed, and their outer world followed. The key idea is simple but life-changing. Your thoughts are like seeds planted in your mental garden. Negative seeds, fear, doubt, worry, will grow into stress, missed opportunities, and obstacles. Positive seeds, hope, confidence, patience, and belief in yourself, will grow into solutions, progress, and real success. This is why awareness is so important. When you notice the thoughts you are planting, you gain the power to choose better seeds and gradually reshape your subconscious mind. Murphy emphasizes patience. Change takes time. Just as you do not learn a new language in a day, you cannot change your beliefs instantly. But every day that you focus on positive thoughts, visualize success, and repeat affirmations with feeling, you are training your subconscious to work for you. Small improvements compound into bigger transformations. Slowly, Your habits change, your confidence grows, and your life begins to reflect the inner beliefs you are cultivating. In short, your subconscious is listening every moment, and it responds to what you give it. By consciously choosing positive thoughts, clear mental images, and constructive affirmations, you create a pathway toward a better, stronger, and more confident version of yourself. Over time, these practices can help you overcome fear, gain control over challenges, and step into the life you are capable of living. The process is gentle, patient, and consistent, but it is also profoundly powerful. Our subconscious mind is always listening, even when we are not aware of it. It is quietly observing the messages we give it every moment. It does not judge, argue, or question whether those messages are true. It simply accepts them and acts upon them. This is a powerful truth. You do not have to be perfect, and you do not need to force yourself to always feel positive. The important thing is repetition. The more you consistently choose thoughts of hope, trust, and progress, the more your subconscious mind begins to guide you forward. Slowly, you start noticing possibilities that were there all along, paths and opportunities you may have ignored before because your focus was on fear or failure. Instead of only seeing walls and obstacles, you start to notice doors and pathways, giving you options you may never have realized existed. But before we celebrate this power, we need to face a difficult truth. Often, the biggest limits we face in life are the ones we place on ourselves. What is surprising is that we do this without even noticing. These limits are built quietly over time, starting from little doubts and hesitations. Sometimes we have been holding ourselves back for years without realizing it. Think about the times you stopped yourself before even trying. You may have had an idea, a dream, or a small goal, but a quiet inner voice whispered, "What if I fail?" Or, "What if I am not good enough?" And instead of moving forward, you let that thought decide for you. This is the voice of self-doubt, and it is one of the most common reasons we limit ourselves. Self-doubt can appear even when we have done similar things successfully in the past. For example, maybe you want to speak better English, join a conversation group, or apply for a better job. But the doubtful voice in your head says, "I'm not ready," or "I might embarrass myself." As a result, you hold back and avoid trying. When this happens repeatedly, your subconscious mind quietly accepts the hesitation as truth. It begins to form a habit. Without realizing it, you may start automatically avoiding opportunities that could have helped you grow and improve. Over time, self-doubt becomes a strong inner barrier that holds you back, even if the outside world offers chances for success. Another common trap that limits us is perfectionism. Many people believe that if they cannot do something perfectly, they should not even try. This mindset keeps potential unrealized and progress delayed. Perfectionism feeds the same negative cycle as self-doubt, hesitation, avoidance, and a subconscious belief that you are not capable. The subconscious mind listens to repeated thoughts, whether they are about fear, self-doubt, or perfectionism. If you continuously focus on these negative thoughts, they grow stronger, shaping your emotions, habits, and actions in ways that hold you back. Understanding this is liberating because it also means change is possible. If the subconscious mind accepts repeated thoughts, you can begin to plant new, positive seeds. By replacing self-doubt and fear with thoughts of courage, growth, and possibility, you begin to rewire your mind. For instance, when you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," you can gently replace it with, "I am learning and improving," or "I can try step by step." Over time, these new thoughts become habits. Your subconscious mind starts guiding you toward opportunities instead of away from them. You begin to act with more confidence, take risks that help you grow, and notice doors that were previously invisible. The key is consistency. You do not need to eliminate fear or doubt overnight. The process is gradual, gentle, and requires practice. Each time you choose positive, constructive thoughts over fear, hesitation, or perfectionism, you strengthen new patterns in your subconscious. Slowly, These new patterns reshape how you think, feel, and act. Over weeks and months, what once felt impossible or scary starts to feel achievable. The subconscious mind quietly works with you, helping you notice solutions, build confidence, and move forward step by step. In this way, self-doubt and perfectionism are not permanent blocks. They are habits that can be replaced with hope, trust, and action. The more you practice this, the more automatic it becomes. Your subconscious begins to guide you toward growth naturally, instead of holding you back. With awareness, practice, and patience, you can gradually free yourself from these mental limits, planting seeds of confidence, courage, and success that will grow steadily over time. Perfectionism is one of the biggest reasons people hold themselves back. At first, it may seem reasonable to want to do things well. Who doesn't want to succeed or look competent? But often, perfectionism hides a deeper fear, the fear of failure. Instead of taking small steps, practicing and learning along the way, we wait for the perfect moment. The moment when we feel completely confident, fully skilled, and totally prepared. The problem is, that moment almost never comes. By waiting for perfection, we often end up doing nothing at all. In the process, we lose time, miss opportunities, and even lose confidence in ourselves. Fear of failure is another powerful limit. We imagine that if we fail, it means we are not capable, or it proves something negative about who we are. But think about the people you admire, athletes, artists, successful professionals, or people who speak languages fluently. Do you think they reached their level without failing? Of course not. They failed many times. The difference is they didn't let failure define them. They treated failure as feedback, as information about what to try differently, not as proof that they should quit. This is an important perspective. Failure is not the enemy. Fear of failure and avoiding action are the real traps. As information about what to try differently, not as proof that they should quit. This is an important perspective. Failure is not the enemy. Fear of failure and avoiding action are the real traps. Here's a question to reflect on. What is worse, trying and failing, or never trying at all, and always wondering what might have happened? So many people live with the second type of regret. They avoid risk because they are afraid of failure, afraid of feeling embarrassed or inadequate. But they forget that not trying has its own cost. It keeps us stuck, reinforces old, "I can't" messages in our subconscious, and prevents us from growing. Where do these limits come from? Often, they didn't even originate with us. Many of the beliefs that hold us back were planted long ago. They come from past experiences, from what others told us, or from moments when we felt embarrassed or rejected. Maybe a teacher once laughed at your answer in class, or a parent or friend said, "You're not the type of person who can do that." Those words may have sunk deeply into your subconscious. Years later, without even realizing it, you might still live by them, avoiding challenges and doubting your abilities. This shows how our subconscious mind works quietly but powerfully. It accepts repeated messages, whether positive or negative, and shapes our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors accordingly. If negative beliefs are planted, fear, doubt, and hesitation grow. If positive beliefs are planted, confidence, courage, and hope grow. That is why it is so important to become aware of what we are planting in our minds. Awareness is the first step toward change. Once you notice these limiting thoughts, you can begin to replace them with supportive, encouraging messages. Small steps matter. The process of overcoming fear, perfectionism, and self-doubt is gradual. You don't need to feel completely ready before you start. You don't need to eliminate fear entirely. Start with small actions, small risks, small improvements. Each time you act despite fear, you send a positive message to your subconscious. I can do this. I am capable. I am learning. Over time, these small actions create confidence and new habits, rewiring the subconscious to support your growth rather than hold you back. The truth is, limits exist not to keep us safe, but to show us where our mind has been conditioned by fear. The good news is that these limits are not permanent. They can be challenged, reshaped, and replaced. By understanding where fear, perfectionism, and self-doubt come from, you gain the power to make new choices, plant better seeds in your subconscious, and gradually move toward the life you truly want. Step by step, thought by thought, small action by small action, you can free yourself from old limits and open doors to new possibilities. Many of us live our lives carrying limits that were formed long ago, still letting them control our choices without even realizing it. These limits may have started from past failures, criticism from others, or fears we repeated to ourselves over and over. But here's the most important part to remember. These old limits are not permanent. Just as your subconscious once accepted negative suggestions, it can also be trained to accept positive ones. You can start feeding your mind with confidence, hope, and courage. Over time, those positive seeds grow, and the old limits gradually lose their power. Think about it this way. The limits we carry are like habits we learned. At some point, your subconscious mind accepted them as true. Maybe it was a comment from a teacher, a failed attempt at something, or a fear you repeated silently for months or years. But if your mind learned those limits once, it can also unlearn them. Even better, it can learn new, healthier beliefs. You can train your subconscious to understand that mistakes are part of learning, that small steps are more effective than waiting for perfect conditions, and that trying, even when it feels scary, is always better than doing nothing. Pause for a moment and reflect. Ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't afraid of failing? What is one thing I have been holding back from because I told myself I'm not ready, not skilled, or not good enough? The answer might surprise you. Often, you're ready to take at least the first small step. And that first step, no matter how tiny, can start a chain reaction that grows into something much larger than your fear. Small, consistent actions create momentum. The subconscious mind notices every step you take, and with repetition, it begins to adjust, supporting your growth and helping you take even more steps forward. Now, let's move to something practical. How can you actually reprogram your subconscious mind so it works for you instead of against you? Here's the good news. It doesn't require anything complicated, mysterious, or magical. You don't need long rituals, secret techniques, or years of waiting. The secret is simple. You just need to give your subconscious new instructions again and again until those instructions become stronger than the old ones. The subconscious responds to repetition. The more you feed it positive messages, visualizations, and affirmations, the more it accepts them as true. For example, if you repeat to yourself, I am confident and capable, while imagining yourself acting successfully in situations that once made you anxious, your subconscious gradually begins to accept that as reality. Visualization is another powerful tool. By picturing yourself achieving your goals, handling challenges smoothly, or speaking English fluently, you send a clear signal to your subconscious. It begins to adjust your feelings, reactions, and habits to match that vision. Over time, this repeated mental rehearsal rewires your brain, making new behaviors more automatic and natural. Affirmations are equally important. These are positive statements you repeat daily, ideally with feeling. Saying, I can learn, improve, and succeed step by step may feel strange at first, but consistency is what matters. Your subconscious hears the repetition and gradually accepts it as true, replacing old doubts with new confidence. Step by step, thought by thought, you are training your subconscious to support you instead of hold you back. The key takeaway is this: your subconscious is powerful, always listening, and ready to respond to whatever you plan in it. By consciously choosing what you feed it, positive thoughts, encouraging words, vivid mental images, you can replace fear, doubt, and hesitation with confidence, courage, and action. Change is not instant, but it is real. Each small step, each new thought, and each repeated affirmation gradually reshapes your mind and your life, helping you move beyond old limits and step into your full potential. To replace old limits and train your subconscious mind, there are 3 powerful tools you can use: daily affirmations, visualization, and consistency. Let's go through them step by step so you can understand how to use them in your life. 1. Daily affirmations. Affirmations are short, positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. They are not just cheerful words to make you feel good for a moment. They are tools to feed your subconscious with new beliefs, gradually replacing old doubts and fears. For example, if you've often said, "I'm terrible at speaking English," your subconscious has probably accepted that as truth. But you can change that by repeating a new statement, such as, "I am improving my English every day. I can communicate clearly, and I get better with every conversation." At first, your conscious mind might argue with you. It might think, "That's not true yet," and that is perfectly normal. Affirmations are not about what is true in this exact moment. They are about what you want your subconscious to believe. With repetition, your subconscious starts to accept these statements as real. Once your subconscious believes them, you naturally begin to act in ways that match your new beliefs. For example, instead of avoiding speaking English, you start practicing more confidently, noticing small improvements, and taking on opportunities you previously avoided. 2. Visualization. The second tool is visualization. This means using your imagination to create detailed mental images of the success you want. Your subconscious does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. That's why this technique is so powerful. For example, if you are afraid of public speaking, instead of imagining failure, picture yourself standing calmly in front of a small group. Imagine your breathing steady, your voice clear, and your body relaxed. See the audience smiling, nodding, and paying attention. Engage as many senses as possible. Notice what you see, hear, and feel. Professional athletes, actors, and surgeons use visualization before big events because it trains their minds just as much as their skills. By imagining success repeatedly, you are teaching your subconscious, "This is possible for me. I can do this." Over time, your subconscious begins to support your actions, guiding your body, mind, and emotions toward success rather than fear. 3. Consistency. The third and perhaps most important tool is consistency. One-time affirmations or occasional visualization are helpful, but the real power comes from doing them regularly, day after day. Just like learning a language or building a habit, training your subconscious requires repeated practice. Small daily actions, repeated over time, gradually replace old patterns with new ones. Your subconscious starts to accept the new beliefs, and your confidence, habits, and results begin to shift naturally. Consistency also helps you notice and replace negative thoughts quickly. If you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," or "I'll fail," you can immediately replace it with your positive affirmation or visualization. Over time, this strengthens new mental pathways, making hope, courage, and progress your default mindset rather than fear, doubt, and hesitation. When you combine affirmations, visualization, and consistency, you're giving your subconscious clear, repeated instructions. You are showing it what you want it to focus on. Gradually, your subconscious begins to guide you automatically toward these goals. This is how lasting change happens, not by force or magic, but by repetition, imagination, and steady practice. Remember, your subconscious is always listening. Feed it positive thoughts, vivid mental images, and repeated messages of possibility, and it will respond. With these 3 tools, you can reprogram your mind, move past old limits, and start creating the life you truly want. The third key to reprogramming your subconscious mind is consistency. This is the step most people forget. Your subconscious mind learned its current patterns over many years, sometimes even decades. That means new habits and beliefs don't appear overnight. Real change doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. Instead, it grows through small, steady practice. Think of it like exercise. One workout won't make you strong, but doing small workouts consistently over time will transform your body. The same is true for your mind. A few minutes of affirmations and visualization every day is far more powerful than trying to force a sudden change in one weekend. Let's bring this idea to life with a real-life example. Imagine someone named Anna. She is smart, talented, and capable, but she is terrified of public speaking. Every time her boss asks her to give a presentation, a voice in her head whispers, "You're going to mess up. Everyone will laugh at you." That voice isn't the truth. It's just an old pattern that Anna's subconscious has accepted because she has listened to it for years. Now Anna decides to take a new approach. Every morning, she repeats affirmations such as, "I speak with calm and confidence. People enjoy listening to me." At first, these words feel strange, even a little fake, but she keeps repeating them. Slowly, her subconscious begins to hear a new message. Confidence is possible. Next, Anna adds visualization to her routine. Each evening before going to bed, she imagines herself standing in the meeting room, speaking clearly and confidently. She sees her colleagues nodding, smiling, and even clapping. She feels the relief and pride of finishing her talk successfully. By engaging all her senses, what she sees, hears, and feels, she trains her subconscious to treat this imagined experience as real. Most importantly, Anna practices consistently, every day for weeks. Not just once or twice, but daily. She doesn't rush the process or expect instant perfection. With time, her subconscious begins to shift. The voice of fear becomes quieter, replaced by a sense of readiness and calm. One day, when her boss asks her to speak, she feels nervous but also prepared. She steps into the room and gives her first presentation. She stumbles a little, but she completes it successfully. She notices that her confidence is stronger than her fear. Each subsequent presentation feels easier because her subconscious has been trained through repeated practice to support her instead of holding her back. Anna's story illustrates a powerful truth. Change takes time, patience, and repetition. Your subconscious mind responds to consistent, repeated instructions. Small, daily actions, affirmations, visualization, and gentle practice gradually replace old negative patterns with new, empowering ones. Over time, your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with your goals, and what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. Consistency is the bridge between intention and results. One small step repeated every day builds momentum, rewires your mind, and turns your inner vision into reality. The power of the subconscious mind doesn't lie in sudden miracles. It lies in steady, persistent practice, one thought, one affirmation, and one visualization at a time. Anna's journey shows how a single belief can shape a person's life, and how changing that belief can transform everything. At first, Anna was terrified of speaking English. Even though she had lived in an English-speaking country for more than a year, she avoided conversations whenever she could. She told me, "I freeze every time. I feel like I just disappear." When we explored her fear, we discovered something important. Anna's fear wasn't just about making grammar mistakes or forgetting words.
It was deeper than that.
She carried a belief she had formed as a teenager, that her voice didn't matter and that if she made a mistake, people would laugh at her. No one had ever said that directly to her, but a few small moments, like being corrected too harshly or feeling embarrassed in front of others, combined with her own doubts, and over time, that belief became deeply rooted in her subconscious. Because Anna carried this belief everywhere, it shaped her actions. She stayed quiet. She avoided speaking. And each time she stayed silent, the belief felt even more real, reinforcing itself. It became a self-fulfilling loop. Her subconscious had accepted the idea that speaking up was dangerous or embarrassing, and it guided her to avoid it. Once Anna became aware of this hidden belief, she decided to challenge it. But she didn't try to do anything dramatic. There were no big speeches, no public presentations, no intense interviews at first. Instead, she began very small. A short conversation at a coffee shop. A quick question to a coworker. A short phone call just to practice. Each tiny step was like planting a new seed in her subconscious, one of courage, confidence, and self-trust. Little by little, her subconscious started to accept the new messages. It no longer automatically said, "Don't speak. You'll fail." Instead, it began to respond to her repeated, small actions with encouragement. With each short conversation, Anna gained proof that she could speak, that she could be heard, and that mistakes weren't the end of the world. Over time, those small actions built momentum. After a few months, Anna came back and told me, "I don't feel invisible anymore. I can speak. I can ask questions. I can join conversations without freezing." This transformation didn't happen overnight. She didn't force herself to be confident in a single moment. Instead, she patiently trained her subconscious mind to believe in her, rather than doubting her. That quiet, steady training of her mind changed her behavior, her emotions, and ultimately her life. Anna's story is a perfect example of how the subconscious mind works. When we hold limiting beliefs, they quietly control our actions. But when we plant new beliefs through small steps, repeated actions, and consistent practice, we can gradually reprogram our mind. What once seemed impossible, like speaking English confidently, becomes achievable. The key is awareness, patience, and repetition. By gently challenging old beliefs and replacing them with new, positive ones, you can grow in ways you never imagined. Even the smallest victories matter. A short conversation, a question asked, or a sentence spoken may seem minor at first, but these actions send strong signals to your subconscious. They say, "I can do this. I am capable. I am growing." Over time, those signals add up. Your subconscious starts to guide you toward more success, confidence, and freedom. Anna's journey proves that transformation is possible, step by step, thought by thought, action by action. Anna's change didn't happen because she memorized grammar rules or learned new vocabulary. It started with one thing: her belief in herself. Once that belief began to shift, everything else began to shift too. She still made mistakes when speaking English, but she no longer hid. That small change in belief gave her courage to act, and each action reinforced the new belief. Her subconscious mind was learning little by little that she was capable and could succeed. This idea is powerful and goes beyond learning a language. It applies to every part of life: your work, your health, your relationships, your dreams. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself in these areas? Are these beliefs helping me grow? Or are they secretly holding me back? The truth is, your beliefs act like a lens. They color the way you see the world. If your lens is cloudy, scratched, or broken, even the most beautiful opportunities and experiences may look unclear or impossible. Take a moment to reflect. Breathe in deeply and exhale slowly. Now, think about one belief you've carried for years that might not be true anymore. Maybe it's, "I'm not creative." Maybe it's, "I'll never be confident." Or perhaps, "People will laugh at me if I make a mistake." Where did that belief come from? Did you choose it consciously, or did it grow quietly over time because of past experiences, mistakes, or things others said to you? The reality is that we all carry old stories in our minds. Some were written by us. Some were given to us by others, sometimes without even realizing it. Here's the amazing part: stories can be rewritten. The moment you start questioning your beliefs, examining them calmly and honestly, you take back control. You give yourself the chance to plant new, positive seeds in your mind. This is what Dr. Joseph Murphy teaches in The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. He reminds us of a simple but profound truth. Your subconscious mind accepts what you believe most deeply. If you feed it fear, doubt, or hesitation, it will respond by making you fearful, doubtful, or hesitant. But if you feed it faith, hope, courage, and belief in your own abilities, it will respond with strength, confidence, and energy. Your subconscious doesn't argue or judge. It simply follows the strongest beliefs it receives. That means even small repeated thoughts have a huge impact over time. If you keep telling yourself, I can't, or I'm not good enough, your subconscious will quietly guide your actions to match those beliefs. On the other hand, if you consistently tell yourself, I can improve, I am capable, and I will succeed, it will guide you toward success, just as it did for Anna. The power of your subconscious lies in its quiet, constant work. It listens to everything you think and believe, and it shapes your emotions, habits, and decisions based on those beliefs. By changing what you feed it, through repeated affirmations, visualization, and consistent positive thinking, you can change not just your mindset, but your life. Beliefs are the foundation. Change the belief, and your actions, feelings, and experiences will follow. Start small. Begin noticing the beliefs that no longer serve you. Replace fear with courage. Replace doubt with hope. Every small shift matters. Over time, your subconscious will accept the new beliefs as truth, and you will naturally start acting differently. Just like Anna, you'll begin to speak, act, and live more confidently. This is the practical magic of understanding and guiding your subconscious mind. This doesn't mean ignoring your problems or pretending everything is perfect. Life has real challenges, and pretending they don't exist won't help. What it does mean is approaching those challenges differently. You can face them with curiosity instead of fear, with hope instead of worry, and with the belief that change is possible. You're not stuck, even if it feels that way sometimes.
Take a moment to reflect.
Ask yourself, what do I truly believe about myself? Are those beliefs helping me grow, or are they quietly holding me back? Maybe you've believed for years that you're not creative enough, not confident enough, or not smart enough to try new things. That belief might have grown from a small experience, a comment someone made, or a fear you repeated to yourself. The good news is that old beliefs are not permanent. You can start to change them, gently and slowly, with patience and kindness. Changing your beliefs doesn't happen instantly. It happens through consistent effort, small steps, and repeated practice. By using tools like daily affirmations, visualization, and steady repetition, you can slowly train your subconscious mind to support you instead of hold you back. Affirmations are positive statements you repeat to yourself, like, I am capable, or I am improving every day. Visualization means imagining yourself already succeeding, feeling confident, happy, or strong in that moment. And consistency is about doing these practices regularly, every day, even for just a few minutes. Over time, your subconscious begins to accept these new beliefs as real, and your actions follow naturally. Real-life examples show how powerful this can be. Think about Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers in history. Ali didn't just rely on his physical strength. He was mentally strong too. Before he became a champion, he constantly repeated one phrase, I am the greatest. To some, it might have sounded arrogant. But Ali wasn't trying to brag, he was training his mind. By repeating those words, he planted a seed in his subconscious. That belief gave him confidence to train harder, to push through pain, and to face every match knowing he could win. His words shaped his mind shaped his actions, and his actions shaped his reality. Ali's example shows an important lesson. Success starts inside. Your subconscious mind is always listening. It doesn't judge whether your thoughts are true or false. It simply follows the strongest messages it receives. If you feed it hope, courage, and belief in yourself, it will guide you toward success. If you feed it fear, doubt, and negativity, it will guide you toward hesitation and inaction. The choice is yours. This principle applies to everyone, not just famous athletes. Ordinary people, just like you, have transformed their lives by changing their inner beliefs. They faced challenges, doubts, and fears, but they chose to feed their minds with positive thoughts, visualize success, and practice daily. Slowly but surely, they noticed doors opening, opportunities appearing, and confidence growing. Small, repeated mental shifts led to big changes in their lives. So, as you finish this section, remember, your reality is shaped far more by what's happening inside you than by what's happening outside. Start noticing your beliefs, question the ones that hold you back, and plant new seeds of hope, courage, and confidence. Even small, gentle steps in changing your inner thoughts can create new possibilities you didn't see before. Just like Muhammad Ali, your words, thoughts, and beliefs can shape your mind, your actions, and ultimately your life.